Freddy Adu. He was supposed to change American soccer forever. At 14, he signed with DC United and became the youngest professional in a major American sport in over a century. The comparisons to Pelé came immediately. But the pressure proved too heavy, and what followed was a long journey through more than a dozen clubs across multiple continents, searching for the career those early years had promised. He never found it. Bojan Krkić. He broke Lionel Messi's record for goals in Barcelona's youth system and made his first team debut at 17. The club believed they had something extraordinary. What few outside knew was that crippling anxiety was quietly undermining everything. The Messi comparison followed him from city to city, from club to club, and it was never a gift. He carved out a career across several leagues, but never came close to the player those years at La Masia had suggested he would become. Ravel Morrison. Sir Alex Ferguson reportedly called him the most talented youngster he had ever seen at Manchester United. That is not a small statement. The technical ability was real, sharp, instinctive, and difficult to contain. But off-pitch problems and disciplinary issues repeatedly destroyed any momentum he built. United sold him, and from there his career became a long series of fresh starts across England, Italy, Sweden, and Mexico, none of which ever held. Robinho. There was a period when he was genuinely considered among the best players on the planet. At Santos he was extraordinary, and Real Madrid bought him as a statement of intent. He had moments of brilliance everywhere he went, but moments were always the problem. Manchester City paid a British record fee for him in 2008, and the disappointment was almost immediate. Across a full season he could never sustain what he produced in flashes, and that gap defined his entire career. Alexandre Pato. He arrived at AC Milan as a teenager and looked like the complete forward. Fast, clinical, and composed in front of goal, he scored on his debut and kept scoring until injuries arrived and took away the explosive pace that made him dangerous. Each recovery interrupted his development at exactly the wrong time. He played for Chelsea, Villarreal, and others in the years that followed, but the player those early seasons had outlined never fully returned. Adriano. At Inter Milan in the early 2000s, he was frightening. His left foot was among the most powerful in the game, and he was scoring goals that made him look like Brazil's next great number 9. Then his father died, and the grief changed everything. Depression and the habits that came with it eroded the player he had been. He returned to Brazil, made occasional comebacks, but the force that had made him so special at 23 never fully came back. Mario Balotelli. The talent was never in question. At Inter Milan under Mourinho and later at Manchester City, he showed the ability to decide matches on his own. 2 goals against Germany in the Euro 2012 semi-final were the clearest example of what he was capable of. But consistency was a permanent problem, and the circus that followed him from club to club made it almost impossible to separate the player from the noise. Liverpool, Milan, Nice, and Marseille all tried and all ultimately moved on. He became more famous for who he was off the pitch than what he did on it.